Different signed picture of Babe Ruth, piece of Washington's casket, lock of hair from General Custer right before the bighorn, a bone from the little bighorn that somebody scrimshawed, Custer on one side and Sitting Bull on the other. Teddy Roosevelt spoons, hair locks. I got a lot of hair locks, and they're like if your mother saved a lock of your baby hair. It's a term of endearment type thing, and famous people used to be requested a lot for hair locks, and that's one of Grant's, on his calling card. One of the bullets fired at MacArthur's 21-gun salute with his 5-star general pin signature. There's hair locks down here of Teddy and Alice Roosevelt, his daughter. Alice was his wild daughter, the first woman that smoked in public and all that kind of stuff. She was real crazy. Mary Pickford, it's the last curl she sold at auction.
Isn't that big?
And she sold it in 1939 and was there presenting it to the guy that bought it. And I bought it in a shadow box that was really like deteriorating, falling apart, so I just took it all apart and redid it, and I found a picture of the guy showing how he cut his hair. That's a mock-up of how it happened. Because that made headlines in the newspaper, that America's sweetheart cuts her hair because she'd grown up from a little girl to a woman. Paderewski, the famous pianist and leader of Poland, he was gay, real serious gay, and this was his boyfriend. And here's a telegram that he sent him. It says, "Heartfelt wishes, affectionate greetings to dear kind," which is dear kind, dear child. So he loved this guy. He was a Chicago music critic, and I had a whole bunch of stuff on it, intimate diaries and all that some university bought. It's real weird. Paderewski was weird, but there's 2 locks of hair, part of his goatee and a hair lock. I had written up in Playboy magazine about that goatee. I was going to sell it at one time years ago and had a big write-up in there. Signed picture of Edison, Jackie Coogan, Uncle Fester on Adam's Family when he was a cute kid. There's a great hair locks of Martha and George Washington in the gold lockets. They were given to the Lee family. If you go to Arlington Cemetery, it's the Custis Lee Mansion on top of the hill overlooking Kennedy's grave, and the Lees and the Custises and the Washingtons all intermarried. So that came from their family. This is a neat item. President Harding's paycheck. Look what he made a month.
What's the date on that, Robert?
1923. $6,250 a month. This is a Xerox of the original, and that's the original, the back of it signed. If you go to Forbes, in Forbes Museum where the Fabergé eggs are in New York, you'll see these paychecks. I sold him a set of them. Famous poet, Samuel Taylor Coleridge. It's a hair lock there with all the papers. James Madison, given by Dolly Madison, a hair
Is
lock.
that from the song Bongo Goes to Coleridge? Remember that?
Jesus, that's bad. One of Stan Laurel's alimony checks.
I love that.
That's why I put him under crying, because I mean this guy was married 8 times, and I mean he just had nothing but alimony. And then Oliver Hardy. This is the only known check of Oliver Hardy in existence.
Really?
Yep, I found that guy Olin Childs, who collects checks, came to photograph it to do a book on checks.
Oh.
And he said he's never seen another one.
Why not?
I don't know. I guess maybe his wife or him, he burned them or got rid of them.
Cash kind of guy or something?
I don't know, but that's a heavy duty one. It's to Ben Shipman, his attorney, for $2,500 bucks.
Yeah.
A still camera from Howard Studios. One of their original bowlers from Howard Studios. And the famous Sons of Desert hat,
You
the
ever
original
seen
that
that movie,
Stan.
Aaron?
No, I never have.
That's my favorite of Laurel and Hardy. It's
Yeah, that's
wonderful.
a great one, yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew him in 1960 when I was a kid. I used to write to him. From there, Stan, 61. When he you don't remember Mr. Clean? It's a cleaning product, and they used to have,
Oh,
in
yeah.
the 60s, it was stronger than dirt. You see
Uh-huh.
Mr. Clean and all, he looked like Yul Brynner. And that's why he called him Mr. Clean here. Because the Oscar looks so bald like Yul Brynner. Different things. This is a script girl, signed picture to a script girl who used to write his scripts, and signed pictures of them to his mother. A card that he filled out coming into the country, Oliver Hardy. Letters that he wrote. This is a really good letter here. It's to a guy talking about the death of Ollie. Tom Thumb,
Those are great.
famous midget from Barnum's show. They're a pair of his gloves. He was the most famous midget of his day. Signed pictures of Douglas Fairbanks and Mary
And
Pickford.
he was really short with people, I understand.
Who's that? Oh, Jesus.
That's good. I gotta get in some zingers.
All right. This is hair that was taken the night Lincoln underneath there. It's wove a little bit. It's a pretty good hair lock under that eagle wax. It's hair from Lincoln the night of the assassination. And a section of the bed with blood on it that night, Lincoln's blood on it. I've even got a tintype of his dog, Fido.
Son,
Yeah. Paw print.
I got Benji's paw print.
Do you really?
Yeah.
The Maine, the famous ship that was sunk, that started the Spanish-American War, there's one of the sailors' hats. This is all stuff related to the Maine. Harry Truman's umbrella they used to use. The famous Hindenburg that blew up
Yeah,
in
that's great.
Lakehurst.
That's a great picture.
Yeah, that's one of the plates from the Hindenburg. It's real fine bone china.
I have a letter from Admiral Dewey.
Dewey?
Yeah, and there's a picture with it, kind of like that one in Napoleon. I don't know what you call that.
Right.
And it's the letter, and then there's a coin that was made from the rudder or something like that. Brass
That's
coin.
okay. There's a spoon made from some of the main pieces. They took a lot of the metal. Here's a paperweight that was made. USS Maine blown up. And there's a piece of stuff in the raw of the bomb. Andrew Jackson hairlock, nice big one, and a nice case. This is all Claire Barton stuff, the founder of the Red Cross. Hairlock, her sewing kit. Here's a veil signed by her. Red Cross flag, little things that they used to feed the soldiers with. And up there, Susan B. Anthony hairlock, the women's suffragette movement and all. Napoleon hairlock with the whole documentation. Most of the hairlocks I have belong to Mrs. Edwards Pierpont. She was the wife of the Attorney General under President Grant, and she collected hairlocks. So she was in with society and could ask for the biggies. So she got a Napoleon and a lot of other people, Wellington and Grant over there, and Lincoln, and all this stuff came from her.
Was he related to Beef Wellington, the tackle for the Colts?
Beef
Wellington.
Into baseball?
Yeah.
Not really,
No?
but I'm still interested though.
Yeah, there's a Ruth and Gary signed ball.
This is, he won't talk about, but this is his ex-wife.
Ruth and Gary. I wish it was my present wife. Put her out there with Dutch. This is a skeleton that was used to train Civil War doctors. And I made it into an unusual coffee table, to say the least.
Coffin table.
Yeah, right. That's what I used to call it. I had a sofa here, and we used to just set drinks on it and stuff. But I got no room left, so I got rid of the sofa. FDR's cane, Franklin Roosevelt's cane that he's using there with his son. One of the few presidents that really needed a cane because he had polio. There's unpublished photos of the 1896 Orioles. Hall of Fame ones, those. They're really valuable pieces. They're all unpublished. Stuff over here. Geronimo, the famous Indian. This is a neat piece on him. It's a hairlock and an original pencil drawing of Geronimo and a signature of him. They used to charge 25 cents.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Mhm.
Isn't he the one that invented the parachute? I'm a
You're full of them today. You're hiding now.
I'm always full.
At the St. Louis Exposition, he sat in a tent, and people would line up for literally a mile to get his autograph, just to shake hands with him. And he thought white people were crazy because they'd pay 25 cents money to buy that autograph.
Huh.
It used to take him about 5 minutes to write it. And then these are Miles and Lawton, the two guys that captured him.
Huh.
And that's the Winky costume from The Wizard of Oz.
That's in my catalog.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
there it is. It's right there. It's the one that picks up the broom and says, "Hail Dorothy, the Wicked Witch is dead."
Stacy, you want to try that one?
It's real heavy.
What does it weigh? 30, 40 pounds?
Yeah,
Or something?
they have stays in it. When you walk, it kind of balances like that. The famous designer Adrian did it, who used to do old Garbo stuff and all, and they were going to put out a line of women's clothing based on this because it was so popular in the movie in the 30s. I don't know what the hell they were going to look like, but it's
the
complete. The only thing that's not original is the spear, obviously, but everything else is
It's the
complete.
only one I've ever seen that it is complete. I've seen
Yeah.
pieces of Winky
Yeah.
costumes and auctions and stuff like that.
Bronson Pinchot, that actor on that television show, he collects Wizard of Oz stuff. He bought pieces of it, pieces of the costume. This is made with the original boot from Armstrong. They brought it back from the moon. They made up 50 of them and gave them to high officials in NASA. And this is one of the ones they made up. I'm gonna try and get him one time. I'm gonna get him the autograph. Ship fell from the Nautilus, Ku Klux Klan hood from the 20s. Different skulls from American Indians, Civil War, all kinds. Kids, adolescent heads, like earlier ones with the high lobes. They came from the University of Pennsylvania and all over. Sectioned heads. This is a really unusual one. It's scrimshawed on the top. It's a Nazi soldier. You can see the way it looks, so, it's very airy in the way it looks. But it's a Nazi soldier, and there's a map of where the guy got it and everything.
That's really weird.
Yeah. Here's a one off the plains with the arrowhead in the side's hit.
Wow.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah,
It's embedded right in there.
He's always been trying to get ahead.
Well, you were high.
Seeing if you're aware.
And let me see. This is
Isn't this, that's
the
the
Lon
thing that's in the
Chaney.
catalog.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that great? Wolfman.
Wolfman.
That's fun.
He broke out with an allergic reaction whenever he had makeup on, and they'd stop filming for 2 or 3 days. So instead of doing that, Jack Pierce, who did all the makeup for Frankenstein and all that, the famous Universal makeup man, designed the mask. And so whenever he's running in the woods and stuff like that, he uses that. So they cut down the makeup.
And he has the bills from his dentist and his barber. They're thousands of dollars.
I got tons of signed pictures,
We're
thousands
getting
of
this
them.
down to a science. I make the wisecracks and you tell the truth.
Straight me. Dorothy Stratton, the model that was killed. Sharon Tate, the one that was killed by the Manson murders. This is a head of an Inca Indian woman, 1200 AD. It's kind of bizarre.
Is this picture hard to find? That Claude Rains photograph is
It's the only
great.
one I've ever seen.
I don't think I've seen it. It's just wonderful.
The Incas are from Peru, and all everybody knows about those. There's 3 original mummies' heads.
Were they Egyptian?
Yep, this is 1800 BC. This is a relative of Ramesses, the famous emperor, and this is 3000 BC. I don't know who he was. He was a wealthy person. That's all I know. Again, a relative of Ramesses, and she was a lady in waiting, kind of a servant woman for the queen in the back, Hepsakh-Suk, one of the queens of Egypt.
I missed my cue, but Ramesses is the one who invented the condom.
There's a great piece. That's Lincoln's wallet, Abraham Lincoln's
That's
wallet.
great. That's one of my
Yeah, they used
favorites.
all during the war and everything.
Look at that.
So that's really a historic piece. And there's one of his calling cards. And the person that owned the wallet was John Hay, the one down the end there. And this guy right here, as he looked when he owned the wallet, that's Lincoln's secretary. And there's autographs of Hay in here. There's an envelope from the White House that Hay signed. He was his personal secretary, as well as a close friend.
Well, my dad has this picture right here. He collects some of
Courier
those-
knives?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
collects presidents and stuff.
Well, what's happening, why I have this scene in here, this guy right here, what would happen when he would die is they would send in a doctor, and the doctor would cut hair locks, and that's how this hair lock came to be. And this was given to Andrew Jackson IV. And they would give a hair lock to each person before they'd inter his body. There's another hair lock here, and just all these are original etchings. This is a signature of him below an etching.
What's the cigar there in the picture below?
George Burns.
Oh, okay.
From Going in Style.
Okay.
That's Grauman's Chinese.
And who's that?
Raquel Welch.
Oh, okay. And the hairstyle I didn't recognize.
Yeah, well, that's from a movie she did. I can't remember the name of the movie, but
Yeah.
I got her when she was in town here.
Uh-huh.
She said she didn't like that hairstyle.
It looks like a 20s type. Huh?
Yeah. And there's an Edgar Allan Poe check. Of course, he's big in Baltimore, big all over, but this is a seat out of a sleigh for Nicholas and Alexander, the Russian emperor and empress. Clara Barton's pin, signature. These are Oscars. This is for Wuthering Heights, given to that gentleman, Greg Tolan, cinematography. In 1939, it was the first cinematography award. And of course, they changed the base.
You won an Oscar? Got it?
And this one, this is the way they are today. They're here. I'll take the camera. Yeah. It's heavy, isn't it?
That one's for American in Paris for Best Picture.
Yeah, American in Paris
This
for
one.
Best Picture of the Year.
Got want a picture?
Yeah.
Sure, 2 Oscars.
Let's see.
Gotta wait for that flash to come on. The button goes on. Or I could do it. I'll have her holding both of them.
That's Amy's Raymond
The whole film crew one time take pictures. He had a tuxedo and he said, I'm going to come over and take some pictures. Brought a whole crew down and took a ton of pictures. Him in a suit and everything. These are all hats, famous people. Like James Mason and Basil Rathbone from Sherlock Holmes. This is from House of Rothschilds, Boris Karloff. The hat, you saw that probably over Richards, Captain Bligh.
Yeah, remember I had that over there in London.
This is from Private Lives of Henry VIII, another Lawton hat. Steel pot Gary Cooper wore in Sergeant York. The hat that Sidney Greenstreet wore in the Maltese Falcon. And the one that he wore when he came back from the moon, Armstrong. The Air and Space Museum wants that from me, but I'm going to give it to him.
What's that big one down there?
That's Villa, Pancho Villa with Wallace Berry. And another Basil Rathbone and Vincent Price from Tower of London. Mummy's Foot, 1800 BC. Stuff over here is Grant's hat, Grant's cigar holder. The clothes that John D. Rockefeller died in. Richest man in the world. He's playing golf. He had a golf course in his backyard. Went to the hospital with these clothes on, died. And the doctor kept the clothes. W.C. Fields had made Rod Steiger's hat. We showed this yesterday. We showed this to everybody.
Yeah, this is great.
Natalie Wood's diaphragm. Of all bizarre things. People go crazy, right? Yeah, Natalie Wood's credit cards and her Darvon bottle. And I have more fun with that thing than anything. People go crazy, right? One of Grant's cigars. The black cloth that was covered for the shroud of his coffin. A piece of it. And everything in here is like original pins and photos and stuff like that of Grant. I kind of put it all together. Lugosi signed photograph back there. Vincent Price, who I know pretty well.
What's the cross and the nail?
I just designed that. I put it in
Okay.
there, just kind of weird looking. Not that I'm weird.
There's some debate about that.
Yeah, some debate.
You saw the
Are they original from the TV show?
Yeah.
Yeah, Burt Ward, Adam West, 20th Century Fox. It's missing the cow and the gloves and all, but a lot of it's original.
Are these boots original?
No. No. This is 2000 BC, mummy's sarcophagus. Which is pretty neat. Museum quality. I'm going to get this translated here. It tells exactly who was in it.
I translated that for you last time we were here. It says Spencer Gibbs on it.
And here's my
Just trying to help you out, right?
Since you expressed an interest in those, I'll
Yeah, it's a good look.
show you these. I mean, you know about them, or?
Yeah,
Okay. You know the fake ones?
yeah.
I mean, this
I have a
this
fake
guy
one.
looks like downtown New York, Pennsylvania, doesn't he? Only he's fake. I mean, they got the drilled noses and all that. And if you see a fake one, sometimes they look, pretty good.
Yeah, I have a bad fake one. Mine looks, like the goat. Aren't they made out of goat skin or something?
Yeah, there are all kinds of different
Yeah,
animal skins.
that's one like one I
Yeah,
have.
they're the most common ones. This one's kind of unusual. And he doesn't look too bad, but still you see the noses, they're drilled.
Uh-huh.
And then when you see an original, it's big game difference. Like this guy looks like he's asleep right here. And it's just really a nice work of art. And this guy looks like he's right off, the street. He still, when it gets humid, he sweats. The pigments in his skin, that oil. And then you can see how the incision, of course you know they skin the skull. And
Yeah.
everybody says the
They
skull.
put stones in them or something.
Yeah. Everybody asks, but if you know what you're doing.
I read an article about how to do it and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't thinking of doing it myself or anything, but
This is a white man. This is a really good one. His hair is different. It's real
Yeah.
nice and fine.
Huh.
He's got a nice stash.
some poor explorer, huh?
Yeah.
Some
yeah.
missionary.
Yeah, probably a missionary. And this is a woman. This is the one that Ripley, that's Robert Ripley, that's the one that he has back there, it was his. This is the biggest collection in the country. Maybe collectively Ripley's has more, but I don't think they do because they only have one usually in each one of their museums. So I don't think they have 17 museums. So. And then this one came from New York. It used to be in an old pharmacy. This one belonged to P.T. Barnum. That one belonged to P.T. Barnum, and this one belonged to P.T. Barnum. And these are ones that the natives, weren't good. I mean, they just didn't do a good job. It really is an art form. So that's what happens if you don't know what you're doing.
It says inspected by number 28 on it.
This is another one. If you don't know what you're doing, you lose the shape.
God.
The face is there, but you lose it.
Huh.
The ears are still okay, but the hair all fell out. And I got some accoutrements. The darts, the drums, the head of feathers from the chief. This is the bag that they carry the skulls in and the heads in. This is the top of the chief's tent, the tent pole. And then back there's like different pictures of natives and Javaros and stuff like that.
Maybe you'd be interested in the article that I have
I
about.
may not have it, but this main article is out of National Geographic. National Geographic in October of 1921 did an article on it.
What's this thing?
That's something I don't talk about too much. Always wanted a famous person's head. This is it. This is William Wirt. He was the Attorney General under 2 presidents. And that's him. This is his grave in Congressional Cemetery. You see that block that doesn't belong in front of that door?
Uh-huh.
It's because the lock was busted off. They robbed his grave years ago, and that's what they took. So, I mean, it's pretty bizarre. There he is there. I mean, he's like Thomas Jefferson's best friend. There's 2-volume work on his life. I mean, he's very famous, except he was the F. Lee Bailey, the famous lawyer. He's the F. Lee Bailey of his day. When the government tried the case against Aaron Burr, he was the lawyer for Aaron Burr. So he was a big, big, big attorney. He and Jefferson stood in the White House after the British burned it, and they both cried to each other, and they were, what they did to the White House and what they were doing to the country, And there's engravings of him and letters he wrote. There's even a hair lock of him back there with his signature. But that's his head.
This is from Light Street.
Yeah, Playboy Club. That's right. They're just oddball things. Yeah, that's kind of creepy. That's it, I guess. I mean, I got tons of other stuff, but...
You want to go
Take
in
all
and
day.
take some photos?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm with Cesar Romero out in California. At his apartment.
Yeah, I'm amazed. I'm speechless.
You thought I was exaggerating?
Remember when they dug Zachary Taylor up to see if he was murdered?
Yeah.
There's that lock of his hair right in that open thing right there.
This thing?
Yeah, I could have saved him a trip.
But they were looking for poison, right?
Yeah, arsenic.
Yeah.
They said they can tell from hair, but I just think that's a bunch of bull. There's a nice Lincoln right there.
Yeah.
I got signed pictures of all the modern presidents from Teddy Roosevelt right on down.
Kind of hard to get shots here. I don't know if this is coming out.
Yeah. This is Richard's catalog. It's a complete outfit. The mannequin I had damn near looked just like it. It's weird.
That's a what?
That's
the one-
just
you remember
World
that
War I
movie?
stuff.
Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when they beamed him down and the pants were reversed. And he said, "Why didn't somebody tell me I had a fat ass?" Remember that, that scene? That's the clothes he had on. This is a whole collection of a surgeon, World War I. Everything, trunks filled.
I have a complete World War I outfit. It
Do you?
has, you know, everything, the shaving kit, the gas mask,
yeah.
everything.
This is shaving stuff right here.
Yeah, I have one of those things.
Mhm. This is all filled down here, and this guy was a surgeon. He still
Oh,
got
wow.
the blood on and stuff. This is his operating whites. His uniform was one of his medals.
Victory medal.
Yeah, he was a lieutenant.
How much for the skeleton?
Yeah, I don't sell him.
There's a
That's
guy
like
that's
his tower.
supposedly getting 2 of them from a medical school or something, old ones.
Mhm.
And I might buy one if it's not too
What kind of
much.
money?
All he said was he wasn't sure yet, like under 1,000.
That's good. Buy
Yeah.
it. Yeah, because they're worth about $2,000.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've dealt with the guy
E-
for a long time.
Even the
so-
fake ones that they make up, they make out of plastic. She came in and looked at it. She was interested in it. I told her 2,500, and she would have bought it, but she didn't have the money. But she was looking at it, and she could tell if the lady had arthritis and stuff like that. And then she was saying something. Were you in here that day when that lady was talking about what it was and about the skeleton? It's a black woman, and she. Here's a wild one. I think I got sold. This is one you don't see too often. Lizzie Borden.
Oh, wow.
The axe murderers. It's a appointment card for a doctor in Falls River, Massachusetts. This is Thursday, L.A. board.
Well,
It's kind of weird.
you don't have the hair lock anymore, do you?
No, I traded that for a shrunken head.
Should have seen the display of that with an axe.
Yeah, I had
that
a
he
bloody
put in
axe
in
inside
a
that
shadow
shadow
box.
box. It was pretty
That
wild.
was
The
wonderful,
hairlock
with
of Lizzie
blood
Borden
on
was
it
like
and
that
everything.
long. It was really nice.
Wow.
'Cause
That
she
was
had her
wild.
hair put up in a bun like, and her hair was real long, and she gave this really close friend of hers a hairlock. Richard had another one, and I got that one. I only had 2. It's the only 2 I had.
Where you saw that?
Mm-hmm.
Who's that?
Von Lundstedt. He's an artillery general. World War I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And put a little plaque down the
That's
bottom
fine.
explaining what they are. I said, no, just put in a picture of the person with that under it. It
Sure.
explains itself.
Sure, that's right. George Raft. Rodney McDowell. Rex Harris.
This is a great building. You like the teller?
Yeah.
Yeah, I fixed it up in here. It was a dress store of all goddamn things. Can't believe it's a dress store.
Is this written by him?
Yeah. It goes with this. That explains what it is. He was talking to Bird on the telephone, and that's the front, what it looks like. On his desk, he had a calendar that was that university press right there, the press company that did his books. And he knew him since, they're in Cambridge, he knew him since he was at Harvard. And they did a lot of work for him over the years. So they gave him a calendar desk pad set, and that's the paper that was in there, and he'd pull it off and make notes and stuff like that as he was talking on the phone.
What's that say?
It says Robert Byrd, Robert Byrd, Robert Byrd. And if you read that thing right here, everybody, it's Hitler, Donitz, Himmler, Keitel, Goering, all the major Nazis. It's a 3-line inscription by Hitler talking about race.
Hmm.
It was given to the SS commander in Berlin. in 1939.
Rob,
got a lot
love
of-
that
It's a lot of neat illustrations in it.
collection of torture instruments.
The illustrations, some people rip up the cat. It's 1893. It's the original catalog. Some people rip it up, and just some of those little things are weird. I mean, if you look at them, what's going on in the picture is really bizarre. One guy sold one of those books to. He made like $130 off it.
Stacy, I want to congratulate you because we seldom meet a woman who can put up with this crazy type of collecting.
Yeah, especially starting out with Dutch.
Oh, give me a break.
Jesus, usually we end with Dutch, you know. And by the time you end with Dutch, they go, oh, well, this isn't too abnormal. But when you start out with it, it's a little weird.
Stacy bought a 9-foot boa constrictor on
Yeah,
Sunday.
you told me you
So.
brought that
Oh,
up.
okay, well, all right.
You own it now, it's in
Yeah.
residence.
It's in our
You feed it
bathroom.
mice?
Rats.
I fed it a rat the other
She didn't
day.
like that. That was
What, it's like once a
disgusting.
week they eat or something?
Yeah, that's disgusting.
It is. It's. Her mother was over and her sister, and the thing was stalking it, you know, and it grabbed it, and everybody screamed, and I was videotaping it, you know, it scared me, you know. I can't wait to see that tape. It'll probably.
What does it weigh? Do you know?
I don't even know what it
He's
was.
really heavy, or she. It's a
Why did
girl.
you buy it?
I don't know.
She buys pets on
I
impulse,
saw
and we're
her.
not allowed to have pets in our
She was
apartment.
only $250, and I saw her in a pet store. I'm getting a monkey too. So.
Are you ready for,
Monkeys
you know
are
about
neat.
having monkeys? There'd be
No,
a
chimp-
lot of problems.
No, a chimp or a squirrel
Oh,
monkey.
yeah.
No,
I
it's not a
think-
squirrel. I was going to choose between a squirrel and there's some other kind. I can't even remember the name.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to pronounce.
They can make a mess of your house and be real destructive, so make sure you know what you're doing. Oh, yeah.
I can see it now.
Well, you gotta put it in a
Swinging
cage. I
Swinging
mean,
off the Jane Mansfield
She's going to
dress or
have
something.
her own bed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
She's going to be like a kid.
Well, first.
A kid might be easier.
Yeah, that's what I said. A kid's only destructive for 10 years or so. Monkeys are destructive
They
forever.
live a long time.
I always wanted a squirrel monkey when I was little. You know, I had back of magazines that you could order them. When I was little, you could order them for like $5.95, and I'm figuring, man, I'd like to have a monkey for $5.95.
This place I went to is selling them for $4,000.
Oh, Jesus.
The one I'm buying is
In New York?
$2,800.
20?
In New York?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like a chimp? I mean, you put clothes on him and all, you know, because the squirrel monkeys are so small, but the chimp, you can really like get clothes and dress him.
This one, I don't know if you know the name. He has a white face, white hair, but he's brown. He kind of looks like a human in the face.
Oh, like an
I can't
orangutan?
remember the name of it.
Like an orangutan, like those ones that are on movies?
No, it's not really like that.
It's got a really white face and it sticks out.
Mm-hmm. And white hair.
Yeah,
all around
yeah, I
his
know what you
face.
mean. Oh, well, those are probably rare, and you'd have to like really. How big is he?
Bigger about this high.
And how big is it when you get him? I mean,
Baby, I'm gonna get him when he's born.
What happens if you come home and the snake has a bulge in the middle of it? You can find the monkey.